Who beat up this Batman? So for today's movie commentary, we are going to be taking a look at Batman Begins. Batman Begins is no secret. It is my favorite Batman film. I love and adore this film. This film is like a comfort film to me. Just everything about it, the writing, we'll touch on it, but some of the lines in this movie, some of the quotes are phenomenal. Aside from the Batman, I think this is probably the best looking Batman film, or at least the best Batman has looked on screen, for the most part, because recently, after rewatching it, I won't lie, some of like the hot takes I had about the Dark Knight trilogy, I kind of changed my opinion on certain things. Like, I do for the most part think the Batman Begins suit is the best of Christian Bale's Batman suits, except for like the cape and the cowl. But it's not like the cowl itself. The cowl silhouette is great. I just mean like in certain shots, the costume just looks a bit silly. But then I have a similar issue with the Dark Knight suit. I don't know. Now, when revisiting the Dark Knight trilogy, I won't lie, there's something quaint about it. It feels like a film made in a different era. I mean, then again, this movie is pretty much 20 years old at the time of this recording. And it's kind of funny looking back at the superhero movie landscape. Because nowadays, movie studios, movie corporations are like, yes, we need to make a movie that will launch a franchise and have like 100 million different movies and they're all gonna like interconnect and interweave and they're all gonna make $1 billion. But when you go back to the Dark Knight trilogy, they were just trying to make Batman films. Like, they're a product of a completely different era, and I think that's so kind of refreshing, but also kind of sad to see the state of the superhero movie franchise. Like, the artistry behind the films has gone, now it's all about money. Kind of miss that, because when you go back to Batman Begins, my favorite Batman film, you can see that it's trying to be different. You can see also too that it's trying to just be a good film. Like, although I will say Christian Bale's Batman is not my definitive on-screen live-action Batman, at the same time too, I love what he stands for. He made people take Batman seriously again. And yes, whilst I want a more comic booky Batman on screen, which we get more with Ben Affleck, like we do get for the most part Robert Pattinson, there's something special about Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne. Christopher Nolan's Batman, whatever you want to like classify this whole thing as, there's something special about it. But before we get into the commentary for Batman Begins, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on social media. It's all linked down in the description. I'm also an actor and filmmaker myself, so check out my latest short film, The Shining Optimism of E.F. Manar. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into Batman Begins. Okay, one thing we have to address are the intros to these movies, because there's something so iconic about them. From Hans Zimmer's score, the having that play over the Warner Brothers logo, and then we get the old classic DC Comics logo, and then we move into the imagery of the bat symbol. Like, every movie in the Dark Knight trilogy has a bat symbol. I don't know, there's just something so iconic about it. There's so much aura about this interpretation of Batman. Like, Christopher Nolan, just right from the get-go, you could tell Christopher Nolan knew Batman. You could tell he was like, yes, I'm going to do stuff with Batman. I'm going to make the audience take him seriously. No more bat nipples, no more, you know, Batman Robin stuff, no more Batman Forever stuff. We're doing serious comic book Batman.
Finders keepers.
Okay, something about the filmmaking for this film is that it has aged a tiny bit, only in the sense of there's something about the beginning of this movie that is very quick cut. Like, I don't get it. There's something just like off with the pacing to where like it's just like, okay, we see Bruce and Rachel. Okay, finders keepers. Okay, now he falls into the well. I don't know, it's just something I felt on more recent rewatches to where I'm like, okay, there's something weird about the editing here, but I don't know what it is. It's just cut too quickly. The image of Bruce being stuck in the well with the bats, there's something about it that is just so iconic. And yes, it's a comic book thing, it's a Frank Miller thing, I know that. But there's something about the way Nolan interprets it. I don't know, it feels really iconic to me.
Did you have dream? Nightmare?
In case you can't tell, guys, and don't worry, the film will make it clear, the main theme of this film is fear.
You are hell, little man.
And I am the devil. You're not the devil. You're practice. There's just something so infinitely cool about Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne in this film. He's so cool. The way Christopher Nolan depicts Bruce Wayne's like coming of age story, from him being the Prince of Gotham, from him running away and discovering the criminal element and how criminals operate, to his training, everything about it. So much aura. I love the way Nolan depicts it.
I don't need protection.
Protection for them. I love it. I love it. Oh, this movie is so cool.
Are you so desperate to fight criminals that you lock yourself in to take them on one at a time?
Okay, I'm just gonna say this now. This is probably my favorite scene in the entire film. Just the dialogue, the performances, Liam Neeson. Mwah. And yes, before we start praising the ever-living hell out of this scene, let's address Liam Neeson and the whitewashing of Ra's al Ghul. Because yes, they whitewashed Ra's al Ghul. I mean, Christopher Nolan has whitewashed many of Batman's villains. And it's not cool. Like, no. Don't race bend Ra's al Ghul. He's meant to be a Middle Eastern man. His name is literally Arabic for the demon's head. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we casting an Irishman as an Arabian man? Like, I'm pretty sure there are many Arabian actors that could portray Ra's al Ghul. But then again, I'll allow it because Liam Neeson is fucking amazing in this movie.
The world is too small for someone like Bruce Wayne to disappear.
A line so iconic that Arrow basically ripped it off.
If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, then there's living can't stop you. Then you become something else entirely.
Which is...
Legend, Mr. Wayne.
Okay, the dialogue. Oh my god, the dialogue. The dialogue. Christopher Nolan, you're amazing. If I remember correctly, this film was written by Christopher Nolan and David S. Goyer, and then the next two are written by Christopher Nolan and Jonathan Nolan. But just, oh my god, these lines, the writing, the way they are delivered, ingrained in my brain, they're perfect.
Only you can know that.
Yeah, that cut's really weird. Like, no, what are we doing here? Why is there not a beat? Just straight bang, cut. What are we doing here? Nolan, you're better than this. God, the imagery of Bruce walking through these landscapes, just amazing. Incredible. The cinematography, so good. Just the imagery, just mwah.
I seek the means to fight injustice, to turn fear against those who prey on the fearful.
Literally, the way Christopher Nolan depicts Bruce Wayne, his ideology, his philosophy, pitch perfect. Okay, pitch perfect might be a stretch because he's like almost comic book Bruce Wayne, but he's not, purely for the fact of he believes he can have a life outside of Batman, but that's not Batman's entire philosophy. Batman's philosophy is like, no, the mission never ends. But for the character in this film, pitch perfect. And Christian Bale plays him wonderfully. And going back to the topic of race-bending Ra's al Ghul, we get Ken Watanabe as the fake Ra's al Ghul, and it's like, come on, man. Like, Ra's al Ghul is not Asian. I think in some interpretations, Talia al Ghul is half Asian, but like, Ra's al Ghul is Arabian.
Here you face death.
It's so cool. It's so cool, just everything about it. The dialogue, Liam Neeson's performance, Bruce blocking the kick, just, amazing. There's so much aura in this film. There's so much aura in Bruce Wayne training to become Batman. Just, I love it.
What do you fear?
Hey, guys, get it? The theme of the film is fear.
Why do we fall, Bruce? So we can learn to pick ourselves up.
These lines are so iconic. Like, how can you not love this film? How can you not love this trilogy? I really love Linus Roach as Thomas Wayne. I think he's so, like, tender, but also too, that's Bruce Wayne's father. Like, he commands authority, he commands respect, but at the same time, too, you can tell he's a genuinely good person. And I love the dynamic he has with Bruce, even with the short amount of time we get them together. One thing that I do think is a bit artsy-fartsy is, like, why are they watching the opera? They went to watch Zorro. No, none of this opera stuff.
Just needed some fresh air. A little bit of opera goes a long way. Right, Bruce? See,
it's details like this where Thomas covers for Bruce's fear. I love it. This is what makes me love this interpretation of Thomas Wayne. So the death of the Wayne scene is effective for the film, don't get me wrong, but it's not the best version because, come on now, let's be honest, Zack Snyder's interpretation, whether or not you love or hate Batman vs Superman, is visually stunning.
Don't be afraid.
Hey, guys, remember, the theme of the film is fear.
It was nothing that you did. It was him.
Michael Caine is the best Alfred. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Jeremy Irons, but Michael Caine is the best Alfred. I love him so much. Everything about him in this trilogy, just incredible. Like, the perfect Alfred, so tender, so warm, but also to the moments of where he brings Bruce back to reality to show him the consequences of his actions and such. Amazing, incredible, the best Alfred. Also, as I've aged and rewatched this film, there's something about this scene in particular that really gets me. I don't know if it's the performances or how tender Alfred is towards Bruce. I don't know. I get a bit emotional watching it. It's a pretty great scene.
We can teach you how to engage 600.
You know the meme when it's like boys when they find a cool stick? Yeah, I'm that meme. I do this every time I pick up like a stick or a broom or whatever the hell. Just instantly do that twirl. Okay, if we're gonna go like nerdy, deep-rooted Batman comic book fanboy, Christian Bale in this film, in my eyes, is the perfect body type for Bruce Wayne. In the later Dark Knight films, he has less muscle, he's more lean, but he has less muscle. To me, that's not Batman. I like my Batman big, bulky, muscular. But also too, we all know the story about how he was filming The Machinist before Batman Begins, and then he put on this crazy amount of weight and muscle. He put on so much muscle and weight that he was actually too big for the costume and had to lean down even more. Like, that story is just insane and fascinating to me. Just Christian Bale is amazing.
Always mind your surroundings.
Hey, I don't know if you can tell, guys, but that line's gonna come back later. This movie in many ways is like the definition of setup and payoff, or at least like callbacks.
Theatricality and deception are powerful agents. You must become more than just a man in the mind of your opponent.
Theatricality and deception are powerful agents. You must become more than just a man in the eyes of your opponent. God, that line, Liam Neeson's line delivery. Mwah.
Training is muscle. The will is everything.
The will to what? I feel like I'm just constantly repeating myself about how iconic this movie is. But I mean, like, Liam Neeson's line deliveries, the script, the dialogue, just... But if we're gonna go and do some analysis, one thing I like about this film is how it basically shows everything Bruce learns in his training, he utilizes when he's Batman.
This place is a mausoleum. If I have my way, I'll pull the damn thing down brick by brick.
Pay attention to that, guys, because that's gonna come back later.
Hasn't he noticed you're tall enough to reach now?
We'll have us die hard, I guess.
Never used to stop us anyway.
Right, so Katie Holmes as Rachel Dawes. I'm just gonna say this. In my opinion, I think she's the better Rachel. I just think she's more age-appropriate casting towards Christian Bale. One of the things that's cool about this film's interpretation of Bruce trying to get revenge against Joe Chill, because in this movie they make it obvious that Joe Chill killed the Waynes and they actually captured him and such, where in most interpretations they never find the Waynes killer. Something I like is how Bruce was almost pushed to the edge. He was gonna kill Joe Chill, but then the mob got in the way. They stole his revenge, and in doing so, it like shifted his perspective. Is the double slap a bit much? Yeah, but it's kind of a quirk of this movie. I don't mind it.
This is a world you never understand, and you always fear what you don't understand.
Hey guys, get it? The theme of the film is fear. I love how the film kind of like delves into the psychology of the criminal element, and in many ways how Bruce Wayne realizes, okay, I have to leave to train in order to understand criminals better, but also so I can learn the skills to become fear and become the savior and protector of Gotham. A cool thing that this movie does is that the blue flower Bruce collects earlier on in the film is actually like the main ingredient in Scarecrow's fear toxin. I like that it links all the villains together.
I'm no executioner.
Your compassion is a weakness your enemies will not share.
That's why it's so important.
So this moment here between Bruce, Ducard, and Ra's al Ghul, it shows Bruce's heroism, his altruism, and in many ways his optimism. Because yes, I wouldn't necessarily call Batman like an optimistic character because of his overall demeanor. But at the end of the day, Bruce Wayne is an optimist. He believes in changing Gotham. He believes in his cause as Batman. And I like the way the film depicts that. Like, in many ways, that's what makes Bruce Wayne a hero. Yeah, he should have lost an arm, or at least, like, pulled his shoulder or something. But then again, it's really cool, so, like, who cares?
You look very fashionable.
Okay, one, again, this is why Alfred is the best, because he's iconic, looking very fashionable. And two, why is Alfred not as surprised to see Bruce? Like, he should be more surprised, right? He hasn't seen him in years, and he's just like, oh, hello, you're right, Bruce.
People need dramatic examples to shake them out of apathy, and I can't do that as Bruce Wayne. As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored. I can destroy it as a symbol. As a symbol, I can be incorruptible. I can be everlasting.
Again, the dialogue, the dialogue. Christopher Nolan and his team do such a brilliant job at depicting Bruce Wayne's descent into becoming Batman. His mentality, his philosophy, his overall example. The writing clearly demonstrates why Bruce is becoming Batman, but also too what it takes to become Batman. Not to mention too the way Christian Bale performs this scene, just incredible. People need dramatic examples to shake them out of apathy, and I can't do that as Bruce Wayne. As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible. I can be everlasting.
And you can borrow the rolls if you like. Just bring it back with a full tank.
Again, best Alfred, the humor. I think one of the things that makes Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy so special is the humor. His sense of humor is witty, it's fun. It's also very British. It's very, like, you know, tongue-in-cheek.
Mr. West.
Fun fact, did you know that Cillian Murphy auditioned to play Bruce Wayne and Batman in this film? His audition is up in the special features, and for the most part, I think he makes a good Batman. But there's something about his Bruce Wayne to where I was like, okay, yeah, I can see why he didn't get the role. Not to mention, too, he's a short king, and in my eyes, Batman just can't be short. But also, too, is this the film that starts off Christopher Nolan and Cillian Murphy's little love affair? You know, like their little, like, working relationship and such. Okay, I say the scene between Ducard and Bruce in the prison is my favourite scene, but also too, this is my favourite scene. I mean, the score mixed in with the imagery of Bruce walking into the cave filled with bats, him facing his fear in order to become fear, he physically cowers, and then he rises as the scene progresses. Just, come on, man. This is cinema.
Bruce, you're supposed to be dead.
Sorry to disappoint.
So one of the main things Christian Bale gets right when he plays Bruce Wayne, when he plays Batman, is that he plays three separate sides of the character. He plays billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne perfectly. He plays Batman, you know, it depends on whether or not you like his Batman or not. I mean, in this film, I like his Batman. In the other ones, his Batman can get a bit silly. He also nails the side of Bruce Wayne when he's with Alfred, which is essentially the true character of Bruce Wayne. The deep, tortured soul, but also the hero, the optimist. Christian Bale, for the most part, nails, like, all three sides pretty well.
All prototypes. Not in production.
I think one of the brilliant things Christopher Nolan does with this trilogy is bring in the character of Lucius Fox, and he treats him like Bruce Wayne's Q. Like, there is a lot of James Bond in the Dark Knight trilogy, and I think that it's an element that in many ways really works for the character of Batman. You know, we get to see the gadgets, we get to see the vehicles, and I think the films do a brilliant way at introducing us to things like the Batmobile, the Tumbler, the Batsuit, and the Batpod and such. The films do it so effortlessly by bringing in the character of Lucius Fox, and treating him like he's Batman's gadget master.
Well, Jimbo, you don't take the taste. Makes us guys nervous.
I'm no rat.
God, there he is. There's Gary Oldman, the perfect Commissioner Gordon. Just everything about him, amazing. But then also, too, in this scene we get Flass, and I won't lie, this film's interpretation of Flass, that ain't Flass. Flass is basically just meant to be like this bully jock type of character. And here he's just some guy. Nolan, what are we doing here, man? Oh, hey, he's pretty much wearing the prototype vigilante suit from Batman Mask of the Phantasm. That's a cool visual detail.
You're just one man. Now we're two.
So good. This film, the vibe, the energy, Christopher Nolan's direction, just so cool.
Just some nut.
Now, keep your mind out the gutter. Gotta say, I love the design of the Tumbler. I think it's so cool. I love, like, the tank look, but it's also, like, sleek, especially when it is in black. It's cool. I know there are some Batman fans that prefer Batman to have an actual car. I know there are some Batman fans that actually prefer him to have, like, the Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney-esque type of looking Batmobile. I don't really mind, so long as the car looks cool. It's a cool Batmobile to me. One of the things I like in this film is how it shows Bruce and Alfred piecing together the Batsuit. We truly do see Batman begin.
That's frightened me. It's time my enemies shared my dread.
Iconic. Again, I'm just gonna keep saying iconic. I love this movie so much.
Where are you?
Here. Oh, it's so good. I love it. 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 I mean, also, as you can probably tell, I've seen this movie way too many times. So, the shaky, quick-cutting, orbiting camera, that has been a critique of this scene for a while now. And I've got to say, for this scene, I think it works completely fine. We're meant to be in the criminal's headspace. We can't really tell what's meant to be going on. We don't know what's attacking them. Like, in terms of cinematography and overall filmmaking and storytelling, I think it works effectively for the scene. Now, when it comes to Christopher Nolan and his overall fight choreography for the rest of the Dark Knight trilogy, that I do have problems with because, elbows and knees, Batman, I don't think it looks very good, but we'll get to those when we get to those.
I'm Batman.
So this is kind of like our first like big reveal look at Batman, and as I said earlier, for the most part, the begin suit is really good. There are certain angles where it looks a bit weird, but this is not one of them. I love the overall silhouette of the cowl. It's so good. It fits Christian Bale's face. It doesn't look like it's being like scorched and he's suffocating like with the Dark Knight cowl. Like again, I prefer the Batman Begins suit to the Dark Knight suit. It's just that there are certain moments in this film where it's just not lit properly. Especially when we get to the beginning of the Dark Knight, because that film does not light that suit properly at all.
Pull it. That's right. We better run. Ah!
I love the little joke of how she pulls out her taser and she thinks that the criminal's running away because of the taser, but it's actually because of Batman. Funny. The humor is actually quite good. Like, this was at a time where the MCU didn't exist, and so the humor in the films was not in your face, haha, joke, joke, joke. It was just subtle. It was just like, oh, that's amusing. That's hilarious. But the film never stops to go, ha, see how funny our joke is.
Someone like you. Someone who'll rattle the cages.
And I think whilst we're at it, let's talk about Christian Bale's Batman voice, because I think for the most part, in Batman Begins, his Batman voice is perfect. Like, it's softer, and it's a bit of a growl, but it's very sustainable. I don't know why in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, he goes all big and crazy. Where's the trigger? Why he does that, I have no idea, because his voice in Batman Begins is pretty much perfect. Like, it's so perfect that pretty much Robert Pattinson just adopts that voice, so it's a bit less gravelly, but I mean, for the most part, you can tell that Robert Pattinson based his Batman voice off Christian Bale's.
Cut him down.
You know, one of the things I do like in this film is how it kind of like foreshadows and seeds Batman iconography, and it gives it kind of like a realistic explanation as to like, why did they use the bat signal? Oh, they made the bat signal to call Batman, but also the idea came from him putting on Falcone on the floodlight, and they're just like, ah, okay. I don't know, there's something cutesy about it that, like, it works. This shot of Batman just standing over Gotham watching it, it's pretty iconic, it's pretty cool. And I love that you can tell that they actually got someone to do that. Like, it just looks practical and real. It's awesome.
Movie stars buy things that are not for sale.
So, I've done that. You know, the whole, like, going into tiptoes and falling into, like, a push-up thing. Like, it's doable. You can do it. Hurts like hell though, especially in the joints. Like, that is not forgiving on the joints.
Carrying a prototype weapon. It's a microwave emitter.
Do you know what's funny about this microwave emitter thing is that it's kind of like a reference to the comics. Like, this film's story basically adapts some of the Neil Adams Ra's al Ghul stuff. And in one of the stories, Ra's al Ghul invades Gotham and basically gasses it, like he does in this film. I remember reading those comics and I was like, oh damn, Christopher Nolan really like did his research. He really just like did some like deep pulls and he made a really engaging story out of it. Like, this movie isn't just Frank Miller. This movie is Frank Miller with Neil Adams mixed in with like classic Batman iconography and such. Like, this movie kind of just pulls from everything.
Well, guy dresses up like a bat clearly has issues.
When Christian Bale plays Bruce Wayne, you can tell he's just pulling a bit of Patrick Bateman back out, just like, yeah, this is how I play Patrick Bateman. Now I'm gonna do it as Bruce Wayne. But I mean, it completely works. It's great.
It's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you.
Oh, hold on to that thought, because that comes back later in another one of the best scenes. You know, for the most part, Scarecrow is cool in this film, though, does get taken out a bit way too easily. But for the most part, in terms of, like, the overall vibes of the character, I like Scarecrow in this film.
Storm's coming.
See, just the suit here, it looks cool. When it's, like, hidden in shadows and such, the suit just looks perfect.
Flash, I have kids to feed.
Well, you don't like falafel?
Flash, I have kids to feed. But they don't like falafel? It's funny.
Where were the other drugs going?
Where were the other drugs going?
Swear to God.
Swear to me!
Swear to me! Yeah, this is like the one scene of the film where the Batman voice goes a bit too far for me. So one of the things I love about this film, in comparison to The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, is that Gotham City actually looks and feels like Gotham. Like, it's grungy, it's grimy, it doesn't look like Chicago. Like, in this film, there's a lot of rain and mist and smog. That feels like the lower ends of Gotham to me. And as the Dark Knight trilogy progresses, they basically just get rid of that for Gotham. They just make Gotham look like a regular city.
It's you, isn't it? Everybody's been talking about you.
Ah, it's King Joffrey.
Alfred! Alfred!
Alfred! Alfred! I love the way Cillian Murphy just goes, the Batman.
The Batman. Rise. Rise, how cool. Rise, how cool is dead.
So the all-black Batman tar makeup thing, that's real. That's all, like, practical. It looks insane. It looks so good. See, this is why not everything needs to be CGI Marvel, because when you do it practically, it looks insanely good.
What that?
Oh, hey, look, it's the Thing from Batman Year One. Okay, it's here. This is where the costume looks silly because it's so well lit, and it's like, no, the costume works well because it's hidden in shadow. There's just something goofy about Christian Bale just walking in this very stiff latex rubber suit, and it's like, no, light it in shadow. It looks so much cooler.
I gotta get me one of those.
Now, one of the things that I would say is staple of the Dark Knight trilogy are the car chases. Christopher Nolan's car chases are insanely good. They're so rewatchable. The score, the cinematography, the lighting, just everything about these car chases are so cool.
Stay calm. You've been poisoned.
Yeah, Batman, because telling her that is going to keep her calm.
Rachel! Flying on rooftops!
He's flying on rooftops! Okay, so there's something in Batman Begins, and it is present in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, but there's something in Batman Begins in particular that is just kind of cheesy and goofy, but like in a good way. Like, it's the kind of goofy that you see in things like The Batman with Robert Pattinson and The Penguin. Like, there's just something about the exaggeratedness of the Gothamites that just feels kind of just intrinsically Batman.
Damn good television.
Damn good television. It's so good. The suaveness of Christian Bale's performance as Bruce Wayne, just the humor, the writing, just mwah.
Am I pronouncing this right? Mr. Raz Al Ghul?
Mr. Raz Al Ghul? I'm sorry, love, but no. You did not say that properly.
But is Ra's al Ghul immortal?
So yeah, when it comes to the Nolan trilogy, it's not heightened. There is no such thing as the Lazarus Pit and such. Ra's al Ghul is not immortal, literally. He's immortal in the sense of, oh, it's a mantle. People, like, can take on the identity of Ra's al Ghul.
You burned my house and left me for dead. Consider us even.
Hold on now. He didn't leave you for dead. He left you with the villagers who healed you. So, what the hell, man?
Still haven't given up on me.
Never. I love the way he says never. Never.
Batman will save us. Look.
Is that guy meant to be Victor Zsasz? I don't remember. I feel like he is. Okay. No. This is the best scene.
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
God, this imagery is so iconic. Like, it's so iconic that I'm pretty sure that when it came to Arkham Knight and they started doing the whole, like, City of Fear bit in Arkham Knight, it was inspired by this scene.
Well, you took my advice about theatricality a bit literally.
It ends here.
It ends here. You know what's funny about Ra's al Ghul's gas mask is how it's very similar to Bane's mask in The Dark Knight Rises. Obviously, it wasn't planned that way, but it's kind of cool how they went, you know what? Yeah, we'll give Bane a mask that looks similar to Ra's al Ghul's in Batman Begins. Yes, Bruce, because that was tactically smart. Oh, we don't get it properly here, but we've got some elbows and knees.
The water supply right across the whole city is gonna blow.
The water supply across the whole city is gonna blow! Again, I love it when Gothamites are goofy in Batman films. I will say, the final fight between Bruce and Ra's isn't amazing, but you know, it's the climax. Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard's score is zimmering and Newtoning.
You never learn to mind your surroundings.
That callback just doesn't make any sense. Like, what? Like, that is when calling back to things all the time kind of just goes a bit too far. Like, what surroundings did Ra's al Ghul not look out for? You just, like, turned him over.
I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Yes, but That's what killing you means.
This is your mask.
The tragedy of Bruce and Rachel. Like, Nolan does a good job at kind of like establishing this kind of tragedy for Bruce of like, yes, he wants a life outside of the cave, but he may not always have it. You know, the idea kind of changes and evolves throughout the trilogy. You know, obviously Bruce wants to leave, he wants to retire as Batman. But this film kind of does set up the idea, and it's not followed throughout the rest of the trilogy, but it sets up the more comic accurate idea of Batman in the sense of Batman, his mission is everlasting.
Rebuild it? Just the way it was, brick for brick.
You see, it's a parallel from earlier when young Bruce was like, oh, it's a mausoleum, if I had my way, I'd tear it down brick for brick. But now, older Bruce is like, nah, we're gonna rebuild it, brick for brick. Paralleling is a very good storytelling technique.
Nice.
I love this scene, I love this ending scene so much. Like, all the Dark Knight trilogy films have amazing endings. This one might be my favorite, but then I think about the Dark Knight one, and that one might be my favorite. I love the Rises one. But I think this one's my favorite. I don't know.
What about escalation?
Escalation.
We start wearing Kevlar. They
buy armor piercing rounds. Every time Batman flips over that card and it reveals the Joker, it's so good. It is chill-inducing. It is perfection. Just this ending, man. The hype it induces in me is insane.
I never said thank you.
And you'll never have to. Dun, 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 dun. Kinda gotta do that at the end of every one of the films. Just, yeah, these are great movies. So those are my thoughts on Batman Begins. I love this movie so much. Like I said, it's a comfort film to me. It understands the core principles of Batman. It brings Batman to audiences in a new light. It makes him cooler, it makes him modern, it makes him sophisticated. There's a James Bond-like quality that Nolan infuses in his interpretation of Batman. Christian Bale is amazing. The rest of the cast are amazing, especially Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul. Like, yes, whitewashing aside, he's amazing as Ra's al Ghul. Gary Oldman, Lucius Fox, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine as Alfred, my man, Michael Caine. Oh, don't worry, we'll do some more bad Michael Caine impressions in the later ones because, I mean, endure it, Master Wayne. I'll hate you for it. That's the point of Batman. And what if you spade you paint? I burned that letter. Wait, no, I'm rushing ahead. We'll get there. But those are my thoughts on Batman Begins. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. What does it rank in terms of the Dark Knight trilogy itself, but also to your favourite superhero films of all time? Because for me, it's up there in like my top 5. I love this movie so much. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on social media. It's all linked down in the description. Until we meet again, see you guys next time.